Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Legacy Wealth Talk, where we can all be open to important conversations regarding various topics related to life transformation, love, happiness, well-being, relationship, and wealth. My name is Nomsa Clara Mube. I am the founder of Hope Spring Eternal Introduction Agency and the co-founder of Legacy Wealth Talk. So today I have my two guests with me, Kay Dean, she's our special guest, and Dr. Biget, she's our regular guest at Legacy Wealth Talk. So I'm going to let our experts introduce themselves so they can lay out their professional expertise and credentials. Over to you, KD. Please introduce yourself.
Well, thank you and good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me. Katie Ann Rattray is my name. Professionally, I'm a psychiatric nurse practitioner, and I also have a master's in counseling. And I'm also the inner healer coach, and I help women live their fullest potential, living the life that they deserve when they know there's more out there for them. I do this by helping them heal the past and intentionally create the future they envision. And I'm really excited to be here today. Thank you again.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Over to you, Dr. Biget. Please introduce yourself to our audience.
Thank you very much. Thank you. It's a pleasure and an honor meeting you all. I am Birgit Tan, and I am from Los Angeles, United States. I am a grief transformation and life success coach, speaker, and author. And my passion and specialty is helping you to be able to thrive even as you are facing adversities, and transforms your tears to treasures easily and readily.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So today our topic is COVID-19 global impact, how the coronavirus is affecting the world. So it has destroyed millions of people. It has destroyed businesses. It has left families without their loved ones. It has taken away basically and stripped everything away from people around the world. So I would like to come to you, Dr. Biget. How has the coronavirus affected you and your family and your business?
So the coronavirus affected, I feel, I imagine everyone who's watching this at the very least. And for me personally, it's initially affected me in that it decreases my business, but it seems to be people has amazing way to adapt when we have to. And so I see a lot of adaptations where within a matter of weeks and definitely within a couple months, all the speaking and coaching and practically everything else is moved into online platform. And at the hospital, I also see where people initially are very alarm, fearful, and a lot of reservations, but very readily seems to people to calm down and opened up. And so it's a little bit of up and down. There is a resurgence of this now in the US, or at least in California. I know a lot of places in the US as well. And so it's something that we seems people to continue to adapt. Family-wise, I'm grateful that my elderly parents and my loved ones are all safe, and everybody take it differently. We know that we are all different is something that's for sure, and sure enough, even between my parents, my mother and my father and my significant other, everyone take it differently. I have not seen. I see my father's very briefly from time to time, but I have not really seen much of my family. because I'm an essential worker, so I have fairly high exposure. So I don't want to expose them. So a lot of time it is just me and my little cat, thankfully, who keep me company.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Please stay safe. It sounds like you guys have it all under control, although business-wise is affected you. Hopefully, there's a reason behind. Hopefully, everything will be okay eventually. How has it affected you, KD, and your family and your business, please? Can you?
Yeah, sure. So obviously, Corona is so new to everyone, and life as we've known it has transformed. So I recently moved to another state. I am also in the United States. I moved from New York to Maryland about a year ago. You know, we are planting our feet here, and this disruption of Corona has really made fostering community a little bit more difficult or a little bit more different. And I am now homeschooling my daughter. So there's that challenge that comes with it. And for me, in regards to my business, I actually had seen an uptake in the business because a lot of people have mental health issues, or a lot of mental health issues, I should say, started coming up. I think the thing that was happening with Corona is that, especially when we were quarantined, is that we had to sit with ourselves. So we didn't have the same distractions that we had. So many of the things that we were able to put aside or ignore was coming up. And obviously, a lot of the fears and anxiety are related to that. So there was a lot of that that was coming up in regards to business, and it really has allowed me to pivot and get a little bit more clarity of how I want to show up and exactly how I want to do the work. And my family, you know, my dad actually just got diagnosed with my biological father just got diagnosed with COVID-19, and he's doing okay. But it is one of those things where we're adjusting. We are trying to figure out what does this mean for us now. And thus far, we've been blessed enough to be okay. And I hope the audience is okay as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. For me, this side, we are on lockdown in United Kingdom, but the children are going to school, although sometimes you do get email every now and then telling you that some of the parents have been diagnosed with the COVID-19. So Dr. Bigid, how do you, what advice would you tell people out there who don't believe that a coronavirus is actually affecting people? Because there are some people who don't believe it.
I would say, you know, we cannot change anybody's belief, and I definitely cannot change what you believe. I know some people say it's just a conspiracy, and it is it's just a media, what have you. Now, regardless of what you believe, what you know and what you can see, if you simply just look around to your neighbors, you know, front, left, right, back, and everywhere, that whether it is a conspiracy or whatever the cause it is affecting people around you, perhaps even your loved ones. Regardless of the cause, regardless whether you believe it's the cause or whether you believe that people are just reacting to something that's just a you know, an imagination or a story or something like that. People are still affected, whatever it is that you believe the cause, whether it's real or not. And so my best approach to that is to say, okay, regardless of what my belief, do I care about people that I see actually truly are affected? If they are, if I see them being fearful, if I see somebody become ill for whatever reason, if I see that somebody being in distress because now you have to juggle between your house chores and your work and homeschooling your kid and perhaps babysitting at the same time the younger kid, well, then regardless of what the cause that you believe or don't believe, you can lend a hand if you care. You can express empathy if you care, or even if you believe the whole thing is conspiracy. You see people who you know and care about being affected, and that's most important. What can you do for the one who are closest to you, regardless of what you believe about the government or the world or what have you? That would be my best recommendation.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Bickett. For me personally, I don't think, I know it's everybody's decision to decide their beliefs. And for me, I know that I wouldn't, the government or whoever is the scientist, they wouldn't say people are being killed by the coronavirus because it is actually destroying the economy, and they're actually paying for the businesses. So I would just say, just stay safe. If everyone out there, please don't put people at risk, stay safe. Because people are dying, like KD was saying, her dad was diagnosed with the disease. So it is happening, and we have to be grateful for those who have not come across with their families. We have to be grateful and just try to keep people safe and stay away, not spreading it. Thank you so much. What is your opinion, KD, for those around the world who don't believe?
So, I'm going to take a little twist on this because I'm coming at it from a mental health perspective. So, I think that we all have coping strategies. And I think instead of dealing with trying to prove the case that there is this virus that's going on and that it's very impactful, I would say that I would imagine that whether they believe or not, that they're still so fearful. And I think a lot of times people cope by denying. It feels more empowering to do something than to sit there and to say that I have no power over this. And I think um, in some kind of ways, the potential denial gives people the illusion of a power. So I think that I would say that I hear you. It's scary, this whole process is scary. And, we are here in it together. And I don't want to create a situation where I'm trying to convince you, but I want you to know that, I'm with you. But I do hope that, people can really still maintain respect and follow the guidelines despite their belief system.
Okay, I don't live in America. I was watching Candice Michelle's video. She was saying she's asthmatic and she went to a clinic to get help because she's pregnant and she's asthmatic. She couldn't breathe, and they could not use the equipment that was in front of her because of COVID-19. And the doctor actually said to her, we can actually call an ambulance to take you to the main hospital, but we cannot treat you over in here. And then they decided, and then she was really serious, and then they said to her, but we can treat you in an ambulance instead of inside the clinic. They took her outside the ambulance. When they went inside the ambulance, and the ambulance people said, no, we can't. We can treat you inside your car. What is that all about in America? I find out it was really strange. I was like, this is taking this COVID-19 to the
Is this
next
a reality
level.
show?
No, she's Candice Michelle. She's one of Donald Trump's.
Oh,
But yeah.
I thought you said Candice Bergen. Sorry. I never heard of that.
Oh yeah, she said the rules. She said she was shocked as well. She said because she said the rules, those were the rules. And she said when she walked into the clinic, because it's closer to her home, and apparently you get charged the extra money if you go to the main hospital, but she wanted to go to the clinic because it's closer. And the doctor said any equipment that is in front of you, you're not allowed to use it. And she said she was really, really shocked because when you are using it, the ventilator, when you are using it, apparently if it's an open space, you are spreading the virus. So they couldn't use it because it's an open space. So the only way she can use it was in her car with the securities. Basically, they lifted everything and got her into the car and put it there. So if she had COVID-19, she can spread it in her car. I was like, this is taking this into the next level. So I wanted to find out if you guys know anything about it. But Dr. Pickett, I'm going to come over to you now. Millions of people have lost their lives around the world. And so many people are facing challenges right now as we are doing this live, and some of businesses have had to shut down. Is there any hope that you would like, word of encouragement, of hope that you like to give to anyone out there who has been affected, who feels like their lives has been stripped away from them?
Yes, absolutely. And it's definitely understandable. And I can definitely feel for you if you feel that things are becoming more and more and more hopeless. And at the same time, we know that this is actually some of the most important time to be able to continue to have hope. And why is that? Because when you still have hope, you will continue to go on. There is a book by Viktor Frankl, Man's Search for Meaning. He described the importance of having hope. The setting is, of course, in the concentration camp during the World War II. And he described this group of men who actually, they believe that the war will be won and the Nazi will be eradicated completely. And for some reason, this group of men in that camp with him have a belief that it will happen by certain dates. And he noticed, and Viktor Frankl is a psychiatrist, a very trained psychiatrist, and he noticed that this group of men actually seems to be able to tolerate about everything that the Nazis did to them quite well, better than the average. And they did very well, and they did very well years after years. But then as this date come close, as the date coming closer and closer, they started to lose hope. And the date came and the date passed. And this group of men lost their hope completely, or the majority of them lost their hope completely. And to Viktor Frankl amazement at that time, once these people lost their hope, and they have been the strongest of everybody, did just fine. Practically almost all of them die within a matter of weeks to a couple months. The saddest part was after almost all of them die, of course, the war was won, and the Nazi, just within a couple months later, was completely taken over, and the concentration camp was freed. And so that's the importance of being able to have hope, because it will be able to keep you going. And yes, sometimes it can be seemingly hopeless, one after another, but just the same thing, just like with the concentration camp, don't give up, even if it's seemingly like an endless thing. We know that there will be an end for this. This is not the first time there is a worldwide pandemic. We had SARS before, we have the flu pandemic early in the 1900s, and each time it takes over. We had the war, World War I, World War II, and people do survive. So please continue to have hope. It will help you keep going. and it will help you to be able to actually navigate and move through everything better. And then when things start to turn around, you'll be able to gain the result that you would love a lot more readily as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Bigot. That was really, really powerful. Katie, is there anything I know people have been affected around the world. Your families have been affected. Some families feel like their lives have been stripped away from them. Is there any hope you like to give it to anyone who is watching, who feels like there's nothing, they have nothing to live for
Yeah.
because of this challenging times?
Yeah. So, you know, as human beings, we are really strong. Like we're the strongest here. You really are. And even though our lives are different, and even though people have been impacted in so many different ways, you can continue to put one step in front of the other. I think what makes it a little bit difficult sometimes is that people are pushing against or resisting what is. The reality is that we have to accept that COVID-19 is here and accept that it's changed our lives, with the understanding that we really can move forward. And sometimes people are trying to look 10 years down the line or 1 year down the line. And what I would encourage them is to look at the next step, just the next hour. What can I do in the next hour? What can I do in the next hour after that? And the next day? And knowing that, I do think, and I say this with all due respect, that I do think that there's so much good that's going to come out of this pandemic, or there's a potential for it, because there are things that are being broken down. And what that means is that there's a possibility for rebuilding. There's a possibility for you to rebuild how you see the situation, a possibility to rebuild. I mean, look at what we're doing. We are communicating in California, in London, in Maryland, right? Virtually. So there's an opportunity for us to look and see what other creative solutions can be going on in our lives. It's an opportunity for us to really connect. I think that being separated from people, when I'm around people, I appreciate it more. I'm so much more present than I've ever been in my life. And before, we're all scrolling through our phones, and not to say that that won't be the case, but there's a different appreciation that comes. So just know that there is a potential other side. And I think that because we're here together, there are people that are praying for you. I'm praying for you. I'm praying for my family. I'm praying for your family, and everybody else that needs prayers. And I trust that things will work out in the best way. And just knowing that really just helps you to make the next best step and get any support that you need. Get a therapist, call a friend, keep a journal, and practice good self-care so that you are nurturing yourself as much as you can during this time.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. For me today, guys, for everyone who is watching, I'll just leave you with this. Life ends when you stop. I know we are faced with so many challenges this time, and sometimes you get up in the morning, you don't know what's gonna happen. Basically, you watch the news, and you're being told basically our lives are being controlled by the leaders of the world because they are protecting us. So if you feel that your life has been stripped away from you, if the business is not going the way it should be going, your families have been affected by the virus, but you are still breathing, we have to be grateful because your existence has not been taken away from you, and everything that you need to actually fix whatever is broken is within you. So you just have to know why your existence exists, why you're still here, and keep believing. I know it's easy for me to say keep believing, but that's what keeps me going. When I know that life is tossing me around, when I get up in the morning, I get text that the person that I know has been taken by the coronavirus. I get told that someone that I know has been taken by cancer, by different disease. But if there's one thing that keeps me going is hope. Knowing that, you see Dr. Biget's curtain? I don't know what's behind that curtain. That's how I see life. That I don't know what's behind the veil, what God has put behind the veil. So I might get up in the morning tomorrow, oh, this has disappeared. The corona will have disappeared. So we just have to have hope. Just keep believing and hold on to the things that we have, which is one another. We can have all the money in the world, everything, big cars and everything. But if you don't have a heart, you can't enjoy it. So if anyone that is watching, if you want to get in touch with Dr. Biget, if you want to get in touch with KD, these are coaches, please get in touch with them. You can get in touch with them through Legacy Wealth Talk, or if you want to get in touch with actually Legacy Wealth Talk, you can get in touch with me and Tarini. She's still moving house, no internet, so I miss her very much. Thank you so much, guys, for actually coming today, and I hope everything, you guys stay safe with your families, and we will see you soon, everyone. God bless you.
Bye.
Thank you so much, girls.
Here.